Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. Today we have got an incredible deck that I made that is countering the meta and climbing up the ladder. I started off at 72 with this in a stream the other day and climbed all the way up to 80. Just using this deck that has all pool 3 cards, and we are destroying Thanos decks, we are destroying Shuri Red Skull decks, we are beating Galactus decks, all of these things, and we're going to show you how to pilot this today because it is such an incredibly fun deck. If you guys want to go and see me play this live for a couple of hours, go and check out the most recent stream where you can see me build this, play with it, and all sorts of things. But we're going to jump into what the deck is today. It is made up of Sunspot, Cable, Daredevil, Goose, Storm, Cosmo, Juggernaut, Killmonger, Shang-Chi, Professor X, Captain Marvel, and She-Hulk. Now, obviously, Sunspot is one of the best one-cost cards. In fact, I would say is the best one-cost card in the game because of the versatility that it has. You set it and forget it. And if you end up skipping any sort of energy, it goes towards Sunspot. I know some people think that Sunspot might need a nerf. The only thing I would say could happen or should happen is maybe putting it down to a 1-0. But personally, I don't think the Sunspot is necessarily an issue because there are a good number of cards that you can play that can counter it. Also, we have Cable in here. Now, you might be looking saying, you're playing Cable without Devil Dinosaur? Yeah, we're playing Cable because there's actually a really good chance for us to steal important cards from our opponent's deck. Now, I know a lot of people who play Thanos actually never put Thanos on the board, which I think is a design flaw, and I think that's something that they're working on, because that means that Thanos isn't important, just the stones are, and I don't think that that's necessarily what was intended. So Cable does a great job of stealing important cards like the Stones, or Lockjaw, or Leech, or even things like Shuri, or Red Skull, or Taskmaster from your opponent. And they're not expecting it, and it works out really, really good. We've got Daredevil here just for some great information on turn 5. The fact that we can see where our opponent is playing and what they are playing can help us decide whether or not we want to end up playing Professor X on a location, or whether or not we want to play Captain Marvel or, say, Shang-Chi, if our opponent has priority and they play a higher cost card, which we have had happen many times, especially during the stream with people playing Devil Dinosaur and things like that. If they have priority, they put that down, you can go ahead and play Shang-Chi and call it a day. We've got Goose in here because one of the biggest problems with Shuri Red Skull decks is the fact that they play Red Skull, Taskmaster, all that kind of stuff. And the fact that we're able to block that with Goose is incredibly powerful. We can play Goose and then play Sunspot behind it, which is always good. We can play Cable behind it. We can skip a turn and play She-Hulk underneath Goose, so there's good potential there. You do have to be careful, though, because if somebody plays Lockjaw on the other side of Goose, you end up running into some problems, which can be pretty frustrating. We've got Storm in here for the main purpose of playing Storm Juggernaut. Incredibly strong combo that allows you to win the majority of times. Obviously, if a Thanos deck is playing Space Stone, they do have access to that Storm to location, but we also have Captain Marvel in this deck, which will allow us to fly over to that location, securing it if we end up running into somebody who moves something early, because a lot of times they'll preemptively play that Space Stone, move something over there, and then you can play Captain Marvel, thus securing that location again. We've got Killmonger in here, which is just an incredibly good card, going up against other Sunspots and going up against all of the Stones. I can't tell you the number of games I have won because nobody expects me to have Killmonger in my deck when I also have Sunspot. I'll let Sunspot get up to 3, 4, 5, and then just end up destroying it because my opponent is so confident in their Sunspot and the power that it has that there's no chance they're going to lose it because I would lose it. And you can do some amazing mind games by having Killmonger in a deck while you also have an important one-cost card that you're playing on the board. We have Shang-Chi for very obvious reasons. Great damage, great power potential in the fact that it removes power from your opponent's side. You can play it final turn with something like Cable or anything like that. Really, really good card. Super versatile. Definitely needed in this current meta. Professor X is just nuts, especially with Daredevil down on the board. You can play Professor X on Sunspot. You could skip turn 3, play She-Hulk turn 4, and then play Professor X on top of that. Captain Marvel, like I said, gives us access to other locations and just prevents a lot of security that your opponent might have. And then She-Hulk is just an incredibly versatile card. For some of these, you guys might be wondering what some alternates might be. No alternate to Sunspot. No real alternate to Cable unless you wanted to play Mantis or something like that. But I imagine all of you have Cable. No real alternate to Daredevil either. If you don't have Goose, the only replacement for Goose really is Storm. That's why those two are in this deck, because they secure locations and I am now allowed to control them. If you don't have Juggernaut, the only thing I can really think of is maybe Polaris. But other than that, Juggernaut is kind of its own thing, removing something from a location for that 3 cost. And then Captain Marvel, you can play Vision if you don't have Captain Marvel. If you don't have She-Hulk, I would probably say play something like Jessica Jones, because typically I'll play She-Hulk for a 4 cost and no higher than that for the most part. So you're not replacing She-Hulk with a 6 cost card. You're replacing She-Hulk with a strong 4 or maybe 5 cost card potentially. So let's go ahead and jump into some games. This is a good one. See you in there. All right, so we are going to play Goose over here. Oh, wow. Did they commit to this already? Yo, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy. What are they gonna do? Unless they literally just randomly have Infinite. The one person that's playing Infinite up here has it and gets to play it. I'd be shook. All right, might be in a little bit of trouble with that, actually. Might be in a little bit of trouble with it. Just depends on how much they can discard. Actually, yeah, I was gonna say, I need to, yeah, it's kind of funny, actually. Yep, your discarding days are done. Wow, that's kind of brutal, though. End our turn. Play She-Hulk, Captain Marvel. Actually, I almost want to just play She-Hulk on the right side. I don't know how much more they can discard. Bro, what in the world just happened? That was incredible. They were upset about this, but like, I don't understand how they thought they were going to compete with anything just by playing that. Like, I could have just fully skipped that turn and won. All right, so we can play Goose on Shuri's Lab, protecting it from... Do I want to do that? I almost want to play Captain Marvel on that now that I think about it, though. Captain Marvel over here would be sick, y'all. Captain Marvel would be so sick on Shuri's. Alright, so I'm guessing this is going to be a Thanos deck. Yep. So we're hoping that we can draw into Killmonger here. Honestly. Actually, I'm going to play She-Hulk on New York next turn, and then probably Professor X. Unless there's a Sunspot over there. Okay. And then they'll most likely have Shang-Chi. Hopefully they don't play on Shuri's Lab right now. The fact that they spread out like this is actually really smart. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so nice. Got Killmonger. We'll be able to see if they Shang-Chi on the right. And then we can actually easily win by playing Juggernaut Killmonger in the middle. Or Killmonger first and then Juggernaut. Because we would want to make room for Space Stone. Okay, so that sucks. We will at least be able to get rid of these. So we can go here. Okay. So I could be completely wrong here, but as long as we clear some room, we should be good to go. To where, like, unless they just want to play a friggin'... Alright, so we clear some room with Killmonger. Nice. Sick, watch this. This is a good play, y'all. Nobody's expecting this. Like, that's so incredible, dude. Get wrecked.
Victory.
Get absolutely wrecked right there. Like, so many people hate Arrow. And I think the Arrow can be fairly annoying. I think Arrow can be pretty annoying. But people sleep on Juggernaut, man. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Juggernaut is easily one of the cheapest and best, like, control cards that you can get. We won't be using Juggernaut this turn just because of Luke's bar. Probably, hopefully, gonna be playing Captain Marvel over here. Okay. So, I would say this is probably a Shuri Red Skull deck. What's this gonna be? I think that's gonna be Sunspot or Zero. Frig, dude. I don't get She-Hulk or Sunspot here to, like, help me out a little bit.
Opponent snapped.
I mean, they can snap. That's fine. I do think that they're playing the deck that I think they are. Shuri Red Skull and whatnot. Yeah, okay, so they are. Yep. So here's what we have to be careful of. And we can actually win if we do this correctly. If they skip this turn and try and do the whole She-Hulk Taskmaster thing, yeah, sick. We play this right here. We play this right here. And then next turn. This doesn't make us win, though, which does kind of suck. We play this right here, and then next turn we can just play Juggernaut over here. Hopefully they don't play Cosmo as well. I can't imagine that they would. But this is going to be another great example of how to beat these decks. We just do this and this, and is this going to add up to enough? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. So as long as they don't play Cosmo over there, we're fine. Oh, are they going to play Arrow? I think they just played Arrow. No, this is going to be Taskmaster. It's so funny, dude. Because they're playing such an incredibly predictable deck, it's just really easy to beat them. You just have to draw into your cards. So yes, you are indeed a donor of cubes. Good sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.